Chris, you at the top of Shinra Tower?
Hell, we ain't got no choice now because he's already recording.
Damn right. All right. Yes. Welcome back. This is Media Marauders. How's everyone doing?
Doing well.
Fellas, y'all doing good, man? Tough day, regular pace day, everything going y'all way?
Tied.
Bro.
Man, they got me traveling on Labor Day week, so that's fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Get ready for that.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I have no idea when I'm traveling again, but hopefully not anytime soon. But, okay. Well, we're back. This is Media Marauders. This is Max, Mr. Thomas.
What it do?
Mr. King.
What's good?
And Mr. James.
What's going on?
We have a full house once again, everyone. Thank you so much for you guys. Thank you guys for coming through. Honestly, I just want to give y'all flowers real quick. I know this is like random and it comes coming out of nowhere, but I do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to keep coming back with more Media Marauder content for the viewers, subscribers, and everyone that does go out of the way to watch us. Fellas, please take a bow or I'm gonna do a clap for y'all, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are so genuine. I love it. All right, but moving along, man. Last week we got into a couple things. Nothing memorable, obviously. You go back and watch those if you want. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this week I found quite a few things. I don't know about you guys, but we're gonna find out. Who wants to start it off today? I guess that would be Mr. King and Mr. James, and technically me as well with the just recently finished Loki from Disney Plus.
Yes, Loki.
Okay. All right. That's what we're gonna do today. Just have a trifecta, huh? Just a threesome. Got it.
We're just gonna get on threesome, and Tom's is gonna watch. Okay. All right, so
he's recording too. This is crazy.
That's the weird part, right? That's just the weird part. He's recording too.
That's pretty natural now for us. Okay. You guys don't be weird about it.
I think I'm gonna hop off this call.
Whoa!
I
do with my hands. I do with my hands.
All right. So all jokes aside, so Loki finally finished. I want to say last week? It was last week when it finished.
I feel like 2 weeks ago.
Don't get me the line. I waited till it all got finished, and someone else on Twitter told me it was done. So that's why I'm going to go watch it.
I feel like it was 2 weeks ago. And it aired on June 9th. Okay. So it's been going on for a consistent 6 weeks after that.
James, it looks like you got some stuff written down. So tell us tell us a little bit about Loki and some of the actors, people that stood out, everything.
Of course, Loki is from the Marvel Universe, which is the brother of
Is
Thor.
he? Is he from the Marvel Universe?
Okay. You know what? Go ahead. Proceed. Well, anyway, so this story is timeline is following Loki during the event during the war or Endgame. Is Endgame or Infinity War? One of the two. And basically, in this case, Loki ends up escaping, and once he ends up escaping, he ends up breaking the rules of the quote-unquote timeline, and the TVA, which is Time Variance Association or Organization.
Time Variance Authority, yeah.
Authority. I thought, like, hold on, let's not start with an A. Authority picks him up because, like, hey, look, this is not along the path of chain of events of how life is supposed to proceed in a timeline over the years, and we basically need to get rid of you because you caused some events that should not happen.
You call it the Nexus event, right? That's what it's called?
Nexus events. Yes, a Nexus event. That said, Loki's dropping there, you know what the hell's going on. It's like, what do you mean I wasn't supposed to escape? Because he doesn't believe it. He's got a mischief. Like, what do you mean? Like, how? So basically, he's thrown to this organization, and he's put on trial, and he's about to get, I guess, destroyed potentially. And then Mobius, the guy potentially assigned to him or during a case, looks at him and say, hey, you know what? You're Mobius is played by Owen Winslow, by the way.
I was just about to say, yeah.
And Mobius said, hey, you know what? This guy might be a good idea to use as a tool to help with this variance and this detective case that I'm doing to try to solve a bigger variance or problem within this universe.
So real quick, are we dabbling with spoilers? But it only just finished, so should we kind of just?
I'm not going to say any spoilers. I'm just giving the overview of it.
Good, because I'm going to spoil all that shit.
Because you going to spoil all that?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay. So that said, the show basically starts from there. Loki is trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and Mobius, a time detective working for the TVA, is utilizing him to solve his own case within the universe that's causing multiple Nexus events. And basically, the story goes from there. And what was you about to say, Max?
Yeah, and it pretty much gets into some real Marvelish type shit with multi-universe universes where you meet different variants, which you explained before, is just different
versions,
timelines between different people within different timelines. That's a dope. Yeah, I think Tom Hiddleston is a great actor, by the way.
Definitely does Loki very well.
He was perfectly casted.
Yeah, exactly. And you pretty much just throughout the series you find out more about Loki and other Lokis, and it gets really, really interesting. I will say that.
Very interesting, especially if you don't know anything about like the TVA at all or the timeline and how they're all involved and what Loki is meant to do overall in this series. Because like unlike the other Disney Plus shows, this one is going to actually have a second season to it. And from there, we'll see how everything unfolds as he's figuring out this time variance authority organization and how to proceed from there. I don't know what else to actually say to not spoil a lot. I think it's definitely a great show. They did a good job. It wasn't super action packed, but it had that mystery detective thing. Like you really wanted to know what was going to happen next or where it was actually going or who is controlling things. And that's the big part right there. Like who's controlling drives you to continue watching the show. Seeing Loki unfold with his feelings and how he interacts with the other characters because he's always trying to be deceptive or backstabbing somebody for his own personal goals because he just thinks that's what he's supposed to be. But overall, we see him develop as a character, I think.
There was definitely some growth that you see watching Loki. And it was interesting to watch that. But all right, so James, so let's move on to what you think, King? How'd you feel about Loki the series, or just the characters that stood out, or just the story in general?
Once again, without spoiling anything for anybody, because I'm very good at doing that. I'm that person that spoils things. I'm not going to do it this time. So I think for me, just going off of what other people's opinions of the show was, they said it wasn't very. Some people said it wasn't good. They didn't understand it, kind of like WandaVision, and and I thought it was a very good one compared to WandaVision because of the fact that I even felt like WandaVision was good too. But just speaking of this one in particular, Loki, I felt like it was a coming of age for him, even in the aspect of it being a Marvel show, because you don't get opportunity to understand who Loki is through the movie. But in this essence, you do get opportunity to see him grow past what you've seen him in the movies because it's not really him. So people got to put that in consideration too. He's not the same Loki that you're expecting him to be within the movie series also. So like I said, without spoiling things of a nature, it's kind of like what Mr. James was saying with the fact of it being a buddy cop show. So like with comparison of like how Thor did with Hulk, but in this case is actually a detective using Loki to assist him with finding resolving other situations. So it's kind of hard to talk about the show, in my personal opinion, without breaking any eggs and spoilers. But at the same time, I can talk about the people that are actually included in the show that you can just find out by watching it. And I think Jonathan Majors did a very great job on the show. His name in it is the one who remains. Oh, no, sorry, he who remains. Apologize. Yeah. He who remains, and it's just a precursor to something bigger into the future. And
that actually ties to the rest of the Marvel universe and movies and shows to come.
Right. And so because of the fact that I feel like the show, like I said, without bringing any spoilers, is a great job. The show does a great job in linking the past to the future. And that's even with respect to the timelines, the different variations of what's going on. And if everyone's been paying attention to Marvel, you know that there are multiple timelines within it already anyway, because of other things that have happened. What I liked about Jonathan Majors' role in this is that if you paid attention to Marvel dropping some of their Easter eggs in the past, you would know that he's actually going to star in the next Wasp and
Ant-Man.
Yeah, Wasp and Ant-Man. Ant-Man and Wasp movie for the next one coming out as Kang the Conqueror. which is pretty interesting because they're using him now, and it bridges it to the future of what's supposed to go on. And so it's just interesting to see how they connected the two together within this series itself. And there are a lot of Easter eggs within the show itself that a lot of people may not have caught as well. But that was after I did my own research as well, and some of the things that happen within the show where you can see what's from other shows as well, and movies also. So I just think I honestly give kudos to Jonathan Major though, because he honestly stole the show.
He
being in the show itself.
Yes, he did.
And Marvel
overall though, still to give him his props. Like he carried the show. Yeah. And then Jonathan Majors jumped in. You'd be like, oh, this just went to another level of show. I also like that they casted what's her name? Moonmi Musaku. Yes. Both of those two, Jonathan Majors and her, are from Lovecraft Country, right?
Yes. Yeah, she played Ruby.
Definitely a show to watch too that we've already done our spill on. But I like how they use both.
If you want to check that video out, go back, get out this one, go back and jump back to watching the Lovecraft Country dissection where we really go in and dissect.
Yeah. So like I said, that was giving Loki the proper opportunity to actually grow, and the season finale for it left a lot of room for growth and even a lot of room for wonder. Because I feel like at the end of the day, it was just something that you want to actually know more about. And I wouldn't be surprised if they waited till after all the other, is it phase 5 now? 5? Is it phase 4?
Going into 4.
Going to 4. Okay, sorry. Going to phase 4. So going into phase 4 of the Marvel movies, and they're not even finished yet because they still got to do the what if of Marvel within Disney, which I think is going to be wonderful as well.
That animated show and everything like that too. That's going to be
even something like that is going to catapult the next movie as well. So I think, like I said, it's just a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of opportunity for Marvel.
By the way, I confirmed it's definitely phase 4.
Okay, phase 4. So like I said, just I can't spoil it, so I don't want to spoil it for nobody, but it's a very wonderful show, in my personal opinion, if it's something that you want to get into as far as crime, mystery, and thriller at the same time.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So I'll give my 2 cents real quick, and then we'll move on to the next one because I see Mr. Thomas. He's drooling over there. He might be sleeping a little bit. I'm playing. I gotta keep you alive, man. Smile for me, sir.
No, you should have had the Avengers Tower in your background. Sorry, you should have the Avengers Tower in your background. So
that's a dope ass background.
That's not Avengers Tower.
We don't do good guys around here.
That's definitely not Avengers Tower.
I know. I said he should have had it in the background.
Oh no, he shouldn't have.
Nah. I ain't in the comics like that, so that'd be me.
We'll hold it down for you.
Coincidentally, I am.
I know.
Yes, I am somewhat.
You can be the League of Villains.
So I finished it last night. I caught up a little bit slower than you guys. I think you guys finished it about a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
So I finished it yesterday, and I liked it, but I think there was. I like you mentioned before, James. Some of the action, there was some good action sequences, but it wasn't the focus. It wasn't the point.
Look at it.
Right.
He ready to hate.
I'm not hating. No. Don't get me wrong. I'm just let me point out the things that I criticized. Not that I didn't like, but I criticized.
Okay.
I feel like the pacing was decent. It felt really short compared to the other Marvel TV shows that's been presented already. I felt like for it as giant of a scope that they were going for, they presented it in only 6 episodes, and it was enough. But it felt like some of it was lacking to a sense of trying to figure out more about Loki's characters, and that's as far as I can really go. Like the other variants, I wanted to see more of the variants. I felt like we didn't really get to touch up on particular ones. Like, of course, see, I can't really spoil it, but
right. That's why I didn't do it. So just answer your question right now. I feel like you're in. I respect your opinion, but because they wanted to push it further, just for Loki himself of 616 or whatever timeline they're in, him in particular was the one more important because of the fact that we understand that we've only seen his timeline, and so for him to see it, for him to be in his timeline but out of it now, if they would have touched up on the other ones, I would have been a little upset because they're wandering astray from what was really supposed to be the main focus, or who was supposed to be the main focus.
So I'll take that. I'll take that on the chin. You're right. That makes sense.
Stop hating.
You said what? What you say?
Don't worry, go on.
I hate my speakers, damn it. No, I'm sure it was something mean.
No, hey, no, I just told you. He said stop hating.
Oh, stop hating.
That's what he said.
No,
Yeah.
I'll take what you said into consideration. That makes more sense. All right. So that out the way. I think the wrap up was decent. I appreciated the wrap up. I appreciated how Jonathan Mayers just stole the fucking show for me. The first 5 episodes didn't.
Final episode was definitely the best. Final episode was definitely the best episode. Like we was all waiting to figure out what the heck was happening, and then it just like gave it to us, like on a silver platter, cake, cherry ice cream, whatever on top, and even better. Like it did really well. Like it makes you look forward to the next season. It's like you want to see that before you see some of the movies now if you watch the show. So
yeah. So when Jonathan Majors makes his when he makes his review, it's like you have to really catch what's happening in Loki, the TV series. You have to really be paying attention what's happening because there's a lot of not a lot of callbacks, but this time travel involved or different dimensional universes that are involved. There's a lot of like TVA. You have to really pay attention to what they're saying every time these people are on the screen. There's a lot of exposition. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot to hear. There's a lot to pay attention to. There's a lot to grasp and hold on to for later episodes. So when Jonathan Majors comes onto the screen, it puts in perspective of what is to come. You know what I mean? And that's nothing mind-blowing, but it's just a lot of exposition that he puts in within he's on the screen for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And that whole time it's like so much information that you have to grasp and understand. And keep in mind for the next phase of Marvel.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, it just I like the whole unhinged moment that he had. I appreciated how
spoilers.
Yeah, I'm that's why I'm stopping myself. So I appreciate his dialogue. I will say that. I appreciated Sophia Di Martino. I appreciated her acting ability. She played Sylvie. I'm not gonna say anything else about her, but she played Sylvie. Loki, Tom Hiddleston did an amazing job. Owen Wilson was Owen Wilson. I
have a love-hate relationship for him.
I'm about to say, like, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, look, Mr. Random, you hear me out. You probably feel just the same way I do. He's exactly who he's supposed to be.
Okay.
And that's what it is. That's the easy way you can put that. He's exactly who you expect him to be in that movie, in that show.
Yeah,
exactly supposed to be. If he's not the Wedding Crasher version, he's exactly who he's supposed to be.
He's exactly Owen Wilson and who you expect to be in this type of show. I just
want to know, like, when they got into the casting room, like, oh, we should definitely put Owen Wilson for this lead. So I'm like, can we take that person out back real quick and really understand why you feel Owen Wilson should have been?
Probably auditioned, and they were like, you know what?
I think it's the way he presented his character overall, and his thoughts are like how he fit into the TVA. Honestly,
I guess, bro.
Wait, so was it TVA
Wilson,
not just one person?
You said what?
TVA was multiple people.
The TVA is an association responsible for correcting the timeline of various timelines.
Yeah, like I remember like seeing some stuff from the comic books, and it's like, I was visioning a whole bunch of Owen Wilsons walking around.
Oh, in the comic book they do something like that. Well, they have variants. In the comic book they do meet their variants, but in Loki they only Loki meets his variants.
No, that was saying, like, in the comic books, I think the TVA is like one dude, and there's a whole bunch of them.
Which you're right, because he was the creator of the story of the TVA. Like, he's the one that created he created Kang, I think.
Like it's weird. It's like he's like, I guess, normal management, and there's like other people who, when you go to like middle and upper management, but like
no, I'm talking about the creator of the storyline for that, like the penciler, and
no, I'm talking about like the like whoever Owen Wilson plays. TVA. Yeah, like whoever Owen Wilson plays, there's like a whole bunch of that one guy.
Mobius. I'm talking about his actual character design was the person that wrote the story, that wrote that comic book issue.
You're on a different subject. You're on a different subject he's talking about. What Chris is saying is the fact that Mobius is supposed to be that one person as the TVA, the whole group as association. You're talking about who is penciled off of, grown off of. what Chris is saying is in the comic books, it's one person acting as a TVA, and he's that one person
controlling all of them. Okay, got you.
But that's the thing without ruining it or giving spoilers. And this, and honestly, everything not ruining it. The TVA is a group of individuals responsible for taking over or fixing the timeline because of variants.
Yeah,
and so
the comic book is like an army of one guy.
Right. It's not a well. That's the and well. This one I give. This one I'll give.
Yeah.
The variants. It is an army of one guy, but there's a deeper subject matter to that within the show. Yeah. So you're not wrong, but you're not right neither. If that makes sense.
Right.
So that's
my bad, Tom. But I didn't mean to confuse you or confuse myself really. But
watch the show. Keep telling you to, but you know.
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
Disney Plus.
and I don't. Stupid. I don't want to stay too deep on this because we could all agree. All three of us can say that it was a good watch, right? We can say that we enjoyed definitely. It. I have my critique about it, and I'm sure you guys do too. And I do want to before I move on, I do want to give my flowers to let me not butcher your name, girl. I'm sorry. Google Mithatha Raw. She plays. Bro, look up her name, man.
Yikes!
Hey, you looking at it, right?
Yikes!
Google to pronounce her name. That's seriously.
Yeah, I don't even want to look up. Like,
bro, I'm so sorry, Ramon.
That's like there's a couple names I said. I was like, I want to type in who that person is, but
bro, her name is Google Mbatha. There you go, Google Mbatha Raw. That's her name.
Exactly. If you pronounce the M.
What was her character in the show?
Ravonna.
Okay, now we will say the connection there for Ravonna is the fact that within the comic books, Ravonna was actually the one in love with Kang.
The love interest.
That's the love interest of him in the comic books.
You know what? The show might allude to that or not.
They did a good job of planting the seeds with Ravonna.
Yeah. The show, I think, like I said, I think the show did a good job on making sure Loki was the center of it, no matter what happened throughout any of the show. He was supposed to be the center of it anyway, but he's the center of the issues going on. And for him to be the Loki that he is and becoming a better person of who he is within the show is what I think is very special about it too. So I said, without, I'm not going to say anything more about it because I want to ruin that.
I'm also go ahead.
I'm excited about Jonathan Majors as an actor.
Yeah. I've always, whenever he's on the screen, man, I'm watching. He's like whenever I see Denzel on screen, Will Smith on the screen, I gotta go out of my way and watch it. Bruce Willis, I gotta watch it.
He has like a movie that's coming out. I think it was filmed in Savannah, Georgia, or something. It looks interesting.
Talking about Will Smith?
No, Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors? Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Will Smith because he abandoned that. Not abandoned, but did something.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that new movie, King Richard. That looks dope with Serena.
Okay.
Yeah, King Richard's.
But not like a quick mention about TVA one more time. Just the idea of time, how it works there, where magic doesn't even work there. The Infinity Stones, like you saw it as a paperweight at one point in the episode. It just
crazy.
It's the idea of time.
Thanos have no strength. Thanos.
Yeah, it's really interesting how much control and power what the idea of time can do. So that was just a nice little moment in the series.
See, I have a question, and I think King might be the one who will most likely feel this one. Do you think that they're starting to move closer to like the Marvel comic books with the idea of like, now you have time in there? They didn't really deal with like Thanos dealing with Lady Death or anything, but we kind of dealt with like the underworld when they got the Soul Stone.
Yeah,
I think they're going to really start delving into. All right, we had everything happening on Earth, but and we started playing with space. Now we're going to play with all these different dimensions that the Marvel Universe messes with.
I think. Go ahead, Bruno.
Fine. No, you're fine. I definitely would say I know they're going that direction because you put in consideration what shows are coming out next. You have the what if. So the aspect of the what if timelines or what if time and space lines is, of course, if no one's ever read the comic books give you the opportunity to see what happens if someone had took a different turn or someone was put in someone else's shoes aspect of things. And so I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but the what if aspect is actually from the perspective of Doctor Strange.
Got it.
So he's the one that they're focusing on within this aspect of the what if versions. So he ends up being the main focus on this one to lead into his next movie. So that's why they're giving time. Well, they're giving different variations of it of time. And so with this show Loki, I think, like I said, these shows have been happening as of recently. Even the fact that they've gone back into time to show the Black Widow's movie, she was a prequel to what happened between the aspect of Infinity War and Endgame. So you get a version of that. Now you have Loki's version of time where he was in the time of everything going on, and then you have the what if now of Doctor Strange. And so even you put that in perspective now, you have Spider-Man multiverse now. And so that's just four pieces of proof right there that they're branching out into that now.
You know what?
And I even ask my own question. Phase 4 is like all about the multiverses.
But the thing is, I forgot. Like I really forgot that in Doctor Strange, he went to the demon world and all that stuff. I forgot all about that. Like, I'm like, so you have the demons, the aliens, the variants, and all. I'm like, all right, they going there.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty interesting. Even with the callback of to make a callback of Doctor Strange, looking and viewing in different aspects of what he could have only road he could have took to win the whole thing is what makes a difference too. So I thought that was pretty interesting on that one.
Yeah, they kind of put that in the end with Jonathan Majors moment, right? Like they kind of spoke on.
They spoke on they spoke on it where time and where him in particular talks about time. So yeah,
I really believe the Secret Wars is what they're going for too.
I wouldn't be upset about it. I would not be upset about it, but I think in my perspective, it would. Well, I'm sorry, my opinion. I would think the time we're doing now would be the better opportunity to grasp people's attentions outside of Secret Wars and do it later down the line. Like I said, that's my opinion.
So what is Armor Wars? What is Armor Wars?
What is Armor Wars? Iron Man and all that? I think
the Armor Wars. I'm not too versed on that one.
I was thinking like Secret Wars. You talking about the one from the 90s? Or there was like recent version. I think.
Well, the one back in the 80s, 90s. That's the one.
Well, you gotta remember a lot of comic. Well, I'm not gonna say remember, but comic books regurgitate different aspects of different pieces of what happens. So the DC, well, I'm not DC, sorry. Marvel's Secret Wars happened one time in the past, but then it happened again in the future because of the different timeline and whatnot, or the I guess relaunch or whatever. So you put that in consideration. They did that too.
That's what I was trying to figure out. That's the Secret Wars in the 90s or 80s. That's when Venom made the black suit
Spider-Man. But now with everything with Null and everything that's
a different. I don't think that's a Secret War.
Now. Well, Null was an actual. Null's a whole
that's a whole nother thing.
Null is definitely just a whole. What's the word I'm looking for? He's just a special. That's a whole special case never happened before within the.
That's a new special event.
Yeah, that's a new special event. So if they regurgitate that somehow, some way, it'll be very interesting. But I don't think they should ever regurgitate that again because, like I said, it was a very, very big event, and it was very different too. So
yeah, that's what I'm curious. Not to steer away, of course, but I know with Venom, they kind of retcon how Venom came to Marvel
twice.
Now. Earth 616 now, right?
They retconned him twice. He's gonna get retconned again probably at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen because whoever pens him and dodges the dialogue for him has the authority to revamp it. So
that's true.
Yeah.
So he's one of the ones I keep up with. I remember at one point he was even made in a test tube. So
I remember that in Ultimate.
That was the Ultimate Spider-Man version. And I was a little confused. I actually had that one along with the Carnage one. So I got that one right here. Matter of fact.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about is Earth 616 Venom. That's the one that came from Secret Wars. He ended up hitching a ride
came from
with
Secret Wars, then came from the Planet Symbiote, then Null, who was a dragon at one point. Now Null, a person.
I tried getting into it. I got into Absolute Carnage, and there was so much more still with Null and all the symbiotes. And I was like, you know what, man?
There's a whole lot going on, but I mean, I'm not mad at it because they're focusing on the villains in this case too. Just like Carnage, he's saying him being part of the Venom's aspect of it and getting the codex and all the other stuff. So I loved it. I love it. So I'm still trying to get into it. So
yeah, it was something else. But all right, so Loki, for the ones that haven't checked it out yet, man, check it out. It's a good story. It delves in a little deep. So you see Loki being Loki and have a heart every once in a while. So Disney Plus, check it out. Just finished 2 weeks ago or a week ago, so check it out. All right. What do you think, Thomas? You want to jump in with your topic?
I don't think I could really even get started with.
Word? You think so, right?
Let's make another one.
Yeah.
Want to make another? We'll do a quick commercial break.
Commercial
Elevator music. Welcome back. This is Media Marauders. Did a quick commercial break. We talked a little bit about Loki, and now, Mr. Thomas, you're gonna have the floor. What do you got for us today, man?
Well, I'd like to tell y'all about these beans I found online that are really
some beans I found online.
Oh, I watched that Master of the Universe on Netflix,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on
oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I have some thoughts on it. It was some interesting storytelling. They made some choices.
Okay.
And
give us a little bit on He-Man. Just a little bit of history.
Well, the history of He-Man, the show was, it's about Prince Adam, dude who has the power of Grayskull, turns into He-Man
with the sword.
Yeah, fights
Protector of the universe.
Well, yeah. Fights not Grayskull. What's it? Skeletor.
Skeletor.
Yeah, fights Skeletor. Skeletor, always laughing. And that show originally was it was a children's show. Like no one ever got really hit. They just did flips. Like I was listening to a podcast break it down, and I was like, you know what, that is right. They did flips. They didn't really ever no one really ever got hurt per se. Like
in the old school version, right?
Yeah, in the old school.
Got it.
So
it got darker over the years though. So
well, they only had 3 renditions of it, counting this one.
Yeah. I meant like TV in general.
Yeah, I don't think the TV one got because it was originally for like little kids, not like teenagers. It was
originally,
kids.
Okay, so pretty much good versus evil type of thing.
Yeah, it was like
as always,
G.I. Joe back in the day. No one ever got shot.
When they were like heavily suited up with artillery.
Hey. Serpentor threw a snake through goddamn what's his name in the movie, all right? They redeemed themselves for that.
See, the movies are like, we understand y'all grown now. But when
he threw a snake, threw a snake through his chest.
Oh my God.
I have it on my computer. I watch it too many times.
Yeah, that's nothing to be proud of, man.
It's called nostalgia. It's called nostalgia, first of all. Don't do this to me, Max.
Hey man,
live your life.
I'm out of here. I got time for this judgment.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but He-Man was it was a show for children. They kind of made, I think, for teens in the second rendition. There was a comic book, which some of the stuff from the comic book carried over into the recent like iteration of it.
Which I really liked the second rendition of it. I liked it. I thought it was so dope. The second rendition on the second rendition on Cartoon Network. I thought it was so dope. That was at the point in time they made. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. That was the second time when they made that second rendition. They had the other version of Thundercats. I thought it was so damn dope.
What year was that? You remember?
It's so funny. I really think it was 2004, 2005. I thought it was like later.
It was 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was either 2004 or 5. One or the other. I thought it was like later. But hell,
we talked about it before. Yeah. We talked about it before.
I'm thinking that was. Now I'm stuck thinking about that one. That was
for the viewers that are. You said what?
2002.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really? Telling my age now. God dang.
Jesus. I was still watching Teen Titans at that time.
I bet you were.
Teen Titans.
I never
Teen Titans was don't give me that bullshit. Teen Titans was one of the best animated shows ever ran.
You better
He's talking about Teen Titans. He's talking about Teen Titans Go. He likes Teen Titans Go.
That was a total lie.
Are you telling me there was something better than Teen Titans at that time?
I'm telling you, Teen Titans was trash at that point in time. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No,
God can't help you here. Nope.
Teen Titans was one of the best shows ever done on Cartoon Network and one of the best animated shows, period, in that time.
Yeah. Premiered something on Cartoon Network Toonami.
Great.
Then later moved to Saturday Video Entertainment System.
You talking about He-Man?
It got canceled somewhere and then moved back to Toonami.
Well, okay, all right. So we get the whole idea of good versus evil. He-Man's been around for a good couple decades. So we get that. Why the topic today though?
Because I watched it. I was like, I was a little bit like Netflix's marketing of that show, I think almost sets it up for failure.
Really?
Yeah, why?
Because when we talked about it, we were like, "Yo, Mark Hamill's in it.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like
dope.
it's gonna be jumping. You know, He-Man out here doing work. Man, they get rid of He-Man in the first episode.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
God dang.
So spoilers.
I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch it.
I'm still gonna watch it. I gotta watch it.
That's funny as shit though.
Before I meant to say it beforehand because we had a prior discussion.
You straight.
There's a good chance I'm spoiling the first episode because it's hard to go there without spoiling this first episode. Like if you look at Twitter and you look at not, I'm not talking about just random people's Twitter. If you go to Netflix Geek Twitter and look at some of the He-Man stuff, they turn off the comments.
Really?
Yes.
God.
They knew what happened. Like, yo, they marketed it as a show for people who loved He-Man growing up. They're adults now.
Trash. I'm mad at that now.
They marketed Mark Hamill like he was in there.
Yeah.
First and last episode, most.
Yep. True. Wow. True. So like when I was watching the whole time I was confused. I was like, did this happen? Like, are they going their own separate way with it? Or is they're trying to allude to future seasons? And then it ended so quickly. I was like, oh, it's done? Wait, what did I watch?
How many episodes is it?
6.
It's only 6?
6.
Wow.
Is that what
yeah.
And it's only 30 minutes long.
But I thought I was getting somewhere. Yeah.
It might be a little longer.
When I thought I was getting somewhere, next thing you know, it was over. And I was like, wait, hold on. I thought we was probably like maybe reaching the real beginning of the show. Now I'm just like.
And see, that was the thing. Kevin Smith was also talking. He's like, yo, I'm making a show for He-Man fans.
Oh, highly upset now. I'm still gonna watch it. Like I said, I'm still gonna watch it just for nostalgia purposes. But
yeah. The thing is, I think there's going to be more. I think they're setting up. I think they want to do a season 2. But how this is going, I'm like,
So, I know I heard it, but just in case,
Skeletor.
So He-Man dies the first episode.
Skeletor 2.
Yeah.
What the hell? So this is just a show. It's just a show.
What the hell, James? What? Come on, man. What? Why do you have to ruin that part for me? Like, why do you have to ruin that part for me?
Actually, I didn't ruin it for you. Once you watch the show, you'd be like, hold on, what's going on?
Again,
it seems like it's the first thing that happens.
As you remember, when we saw the trailers for the show, the whole trailer was He-Man doing He-Man stuff. This show is like it follows a whole nother main character pretty much.
It does.
So I'm like, this character is a whole nother. The thing is, it's a good show with this character's journey. I had an issue with the marketing. Like I would say, it's worth the watch for the other character's journey. But if you went in there, you want to see He-Man do He-Man stuff. Well, you was like, wait a minute.
All right, yep, I'm over this. Yep, I gotta pack my stuff up. Gotta go now, guys. I'm just
okay. so it's
go ahead.
It's just in the He-Man universe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But just the main characters are not really shown. They're not really being presented. They're not the main. He's so dumb. I hate him. It's just a show about the He-Man universe. Just unpacking the lore more.
Can you stop, King?
No, I'm upset.
He's upset. It's okay. I understand. Trust me. If this was Spider-Man, I would be like, yeah, I'm done. But
and that's the thing, though. It's pretty much like if you did a Batman show and you're like, we're doing Batman, and then Robin became the main character, like episode 2.
Which they've done in the comic book, but I understand what you're saying.
But see, the comic book has lead ups. It's not like they'll do an arc. You were saying, if you marketed a full show
Bruce
based
Banner,
on Batman,
I mean not Bruce Banner,
Bruce Robin, the main character, you're gonna run into issues.
You pull out Alfred out of nowhere. It's like, who the fuck? What?
And that's
weird.
And for me, I'm like, I feel like I might have been open minded enough, and I think James, you enjoyed it a bit too, right?
Yeah, so I am open-minded about it. I was just caught off guard like you, and I was like, okay, so this is a journey. This is a journey of new characters to get somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm like, there are a lot of people out here who, You see,
bamboozled. That's the word you're looking for, bamboozled.
You still want to watch the show, though. You still want to watch the show, but if you're just trying to watch it for He-Man every single episode, that is.
I gave up on him on episode 1. I was like,
wait, Thomas, what are you about to say? Because what's going on?
There are a lot of people who are excessively mad. You know, the fanboys, the people who show up to these things who are collectors of He-Man stuff. I'm not a collector of He-Man stuff.
Me neither.
So, but the people who are really into this, they're hot. They're hot. They're pretty hot over this one.
Reasonably?
I believe reasonably, they have a reason to be angry. Are they going about the right way? Probably not.
Of course not.
Are they ever going about the right way?
Of course not.
Most likely not.
Wait, what was the question?
Do people ever go the right way when they're mad about something?
No.
Yeah.
Most likely
let me send this death note to somebody real quick. God dang, I ain't got time for this
shit.
But I'm like, yo, this is not the first time I think Netflix has marketed something wildly off.
I'm sure it's not.
Definitely not the first time. Definitely be the first time.
And like,
you know what? Because I was mad about Bleach.
I actually didn't mind Bleach. I'm gonna be real.
Did it before in the sink, or what?
I'm talking about for what the track record that Netflix has been known for. Bleach was a surprisingly better movie than.
I'm only kidding. What I really meant to say was Death Note.
Death Note. There you go. I still haven't watched that. Don't want to. I'm not watching that. I'm sorry.
And the thing is, I understand it's hard to marketing, but I feel like this one was false advertisement.
No, see, what they could have did with the marketing, they could have gave you a little blimp in a little introduction to characters in like one of the trailers, and you would have caught the gist of possibly what could potentially happen during the show for marketing purposes.
If they wanted to go to shock, like the shock and the shock value of how the show is going to be done.
Last of Us 2.
Even that, I said that works, but I'm like, because you couldn't pull The Last of Us 2 because of how quickly this happens in the show. Say, yo, Master of the Universe Revelations dropping on Netflix this date. People will see Master of the Universe. I'm like, oh, dope.
Yep.
You do not big up Mark Hamill and them. Don't big up, He-Man and them. Don't big up anyone who might not be in the show like that.
They want the viewers. They're gonna do everything they can. Mark Hamill on anything, people are running to it.
But that's the thing, though. You can get worse backlash where people aren't going to watch. Where you're going to go with it? Because I think they might be doing another season.
I hope they do another season. I guess it's going to depend on backlash. But this is what I think should have happened. If they're going to do the show the way they did it, the final episode, it should have been like 2 more episodes after that or something. Like, I get a cliffhanger to help promote another season, but
that's the thing, though. Like, I'm used to cliffhangers like that, so that doesn't really bother me. It was just, and I think again, I wasn't really as disturbed. Like when I first, I think I hit in the group chat right after, I first watched the first episode. Like, yo,
yeah, you did. I
probably missed it.
I finished it like yesterday.
I was sitting there because I binged it that whole day. I was like, I'm sitting here like, really?
So it did make you do that. I'll admit, Netflix did a good job of making you want to finish the show. Like, what the heck's happening?
Well, I think that's the thing too. Well, we're not really the big He-Man fans,
right? But we still binged it though. You see what I'm saying?
Because I'm like, it's a good story.
But it's not about He-Man.
Yeah.
Nor Skeletor.
They are involved.
Which, as a villain enthusiast,
they are
upset about now.
I think it just built for. It was like a pilot for the real season. It was like a pilot of 6 episodes for the real He-Man.
So what you're saying is a prelude season. A prelude season.
That's what I feel like.
A prelude season.
A prelude season.
I wouldn't even go there. They're trying to move some toys. They're trying to move some toys.
Well, I see him on the shelf. I see him on the shelf when I went to Target.
Because they did
the same thing. They did the same thing for what just came out?
Transformers? No.
Yeah, no, the Transformers. They did the same thing with Transformers.
They too, by the way.
Because I will pick up the Megatron when I see it, but
I'm thinking
it isn't out yet.
Let me ask one more question, then we can move on.
Go ahead, kind sir.
I thought one of the biggest issues was the original He-Man was black. Or the first He-Man was black.
People talked about that. I didn't really care too much.
But I thought that was actual
black in the comic books.
Yeah, he was black in the comic book.
Yeah,
but
I guess
people didn't know that, and they thought they were just trying to be POC type shit.
I can't back that. I can't back that statistic up. I don't know about that one.
I think that came from headlines, because you know how certain headlines get wrote and people have trigger reactions to it.
Yeah.
And then that's the other thing too, though. All right, so this is gonna lead to something else. Like, this is why I believe one thing I really believe causes the issue with this is I don't think some creators realize how misogynistic their fan bases really are. Like, I think they kind of hope they're not, because they replaced He-Man's main character with a female character.
Oh,
and you mix that together, that's a powder keg.
Ooh.
Wait, is it the princess?
Yes, Tila.
Okay, Tila. Okay, got it.
Wow, so she becomes.
I thought she was a princess.
I'm looking at the original 1983, 1985, like, is it a movie, and it has her on it though.
Yeah, come on, Tila. I mean, Tila's always been a character. She's always been a main character or sidekick to the show. So depending on which version you're watching, whether it be the one most recent, well, not this one, the one recently that it had on Cartoon Network, she was a main character, and let alone with Adam as well. Yeah. Now, if you go back to the old version, she was very much in the stories as well, but not as much as King of Arms or
Man of Arms.
Man of Arms. Sorry, Man of Arms. So Man of Arms has more. Man of Arms has more of an aspect of the show in the Cartoon Network one compared to the one in the past.
Okay.
And so with them doing that, I'm like, y'all kind of know what you're doing here, and I don't know if it's worth that type of movement.
Exposure.
It's like, are you going to really? I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Like, to me, I think it's going to alienate like their diehard fans, which are the ones who are spending copious amounts of money on the product.
Ones those. Why would you want that toxicity in your fandom?
Because that's what's making you money. Right. If you don't have the money for production, then you're gonna have to deal with the backtracking, which is going to deal with your money even more. This is
just remember Teen Titans, the show you love so much, Max. They ran Teen Titans because of the fact they're trying to push the fact that Young Justice couldn't push toys, so they brought back Teen Titans to push the toys.
Oh,
that just shows how much. Yeah, that just shows how much.
I'll talk about the old Teen Titans, not this new chibi Teen Titans stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like the chibi.
I'm just saying they brought back that Teen Titans because of the fact that they couldn't push toys for Young Justice. That was the reason why they did that.
It's because the fan base is older. Is that what it is?
Well, I think. Well, I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead. You go first. Go ahead.
They're trying. Where Teen Titans Go, they were trying to market stuff to younger children.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go, yes, definitely.
I'm saying I understand why
Young Justice.
Okay.
Young Justice fans, they're more likely to buy the comic books.
That's what I'm saying. They're older. That's why they're not buying the toys. Okay.
Yeah.
They have more disposable
figurines, guys.
Yeah.
There's a way of marketing to them that I think some companies want to do both. And
figurines, guys. Yeah, right. Me too. I should have known that too. As I have a whole shelf full of Transformers over here.
But that's the thing, though. So it's like I understand what you're doing, but I'm like, and like that's the thing is like people jumping off of that concept too of people, because it's going to go into my next topic. Unless you have anything else y'all want to say about Masters of the Universe.
No, we can move it along.
Last thing I want to say about Masters of the Universe. Last thing I promise. That season 2 they had on Cartoon Network was one of the dopest seasons they had because Snake Man and Snake Mountain. It was pretty dope. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I might have to go back.
Might have to go back and watch it for real.
You're gonna have to go back and watch it because they did a very good job of Snake Man. They did a good job of having Snake Man as one of the villains intertwined towards the end of the season 1 to bring in season 2. And damn, I was really mad they didn't. I was really mad that they gave a glimpse of who Hordak was, because the version of Hordak Cartoon Network had was a doper version they did of back in the past with She-Ra. So I was like, That shit was pretty dope.
That's what I remember. She-Ra, definitely.
Now, I think She-Ra had the better catalog of villains because of Hordak and his group of hordes that he had at that point in time. But the Cartoon Network version, like I said, they had opportunity to go golden with that one. If they would have brought Hordak in there, I would have loved it. So,
Okay.
Thank you for hearing me out.
Are you sure?
As a nerd.
We're all nerds. We all get it. All right. Then Thomas, what's the next kind of segue topic? Because I know you had something else.
The toxicity, just like there's a
toxicity. You said
toxicity. Yeah, the misogyny of art. Like there's
toxicity.
A lot of it, and the thing is, there are a lot of people who
toxicity, huh?
Like, can we please finish before you guys jump on this one and make everyone hate us?
Because the thing is, it's like I don't really side with a lot of it because it goes deep. Like because like what's going on with Activision right now.
Oh god,
Activision is being sued by like the state of California for their culture as
really.
Yeah.
Wow, didn't know that.
It's that bad.
Yeah, like there are people who killed themselves who used to work there. And
really?
Wow.
Yeah. So and that's the thing is right now I think you're seeing playing out actually fully visual open culture war. And you're starting to see the different sides of it. Like I've seen people who are speaking out, like, a lot of people who are speaking out saying, we can't believe Activision is this bad. There's a walkout happening. And I think they said like 2,000 employees walked out of Activision or something like that. Or protested, which some were ex-employees and whatnot. I think Activision is a 9,000 person company.
So 2,000 is a lot.
2,000 is a lot. But 7,000 don't care.
They still want the money. I mean, they're like, all right.
The thing is,
they want the money still.
They, a lot of stuff is talking about is the culture of this, the culture of that, like the culture at Activision, the culture at Ubisoft, like these cultures at all these different places. Because I'm used to seeing a lot of different creators on like Twitter and stuff. They're talking about what they like to talk about. Talk about equality, which I believe in, and talk about these other things. I'm like, there are a lot of creators who don't ever speak, and I'm like, and I've heard different like people speak on the fact that they don't feel comfortable speaking. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, there are people who don't believe in the change that some vocal people want. And I think it's a lot more than people really realize.
It's probably a majority of them because that's the way they've been operating for years. So why would they change it up?
Yeah. And I'm like, and that's the thing. I'm like, people are like, well, they're going to boycott Activision. And I'm like, I don't think that Activision fans care because I've seen what people say, when they're like, well, Activision, like I've seen people talk about how Activision profits off of war. They do like, the Call of Duties, they make the Middle Eastern the bad guy, and people get rightfully angry about that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, them people who buy Call of Duty, they don't care.
They don't give a fuck about that.
All you want to do is get online, kill somebody, and curse. And
it's because it's a game. They don't see the subtext. They don't see the smoke screen behind it.
No. I'm not gonna give them that one. They don't care. They do see the subtext.
My bad.
They don't care.
They don't care. You're right.
I believe that too.
And that's the thing is like, are we ever going to accept? There are people who do not want what we're pushing.
And what exactly is that? What's being pushed?
The whole equality.
Stupid. Fucking guy, man. Bro. Can you please continue?
Sorry. That threw it in there.
So we can talk about booger sugar? Oh, okay. Dang.
So this is how it feels, huh? This is how it feels.
Yeah, exactly, right? God damn it.
But truthfully though, like when you look at the whole like equality, everyone wants equality, be a better person, and all this. And I hear a lot in like the video game podcast and when people are speaking. I'm like you saw it slip out during the Last of Us stuff. You seen it slip out when Battlefield 1 made a female main character.
Oh wow!
Like this is like repeatedly people saying, "We hear you, we don't care."
Yeah,
and people are just like, "Well, we don't understand how this is going down." And like it's not just Activision, because I also want to bring in Dababy. When Dababy made his comments and people were like, oh, he talked about if you don't taste like water, if you a dude out here doing
stuff in the parking lot,
weird stuff in the parking lot, if you are what was the other one? If you have STD,
if you got an STD,
and people came out and people were like, yo, we're gonna demonize Dababy again. Like I think the Breakfast Club brought up a little bit. There are DJs to this day. If we go out to the club tonight, probably saying the same stuff when the club's hitting the top spot.
Oh yeah. Yep. Are they going that far though? Are they going that far when they say?
Oh, yeah. They probably ain't saying stuff about stuff in the parking lot. But
the parking lot thing, that's the thing. I think everyone agreed. The parking lot thing was like, yo,
where the hell that come from, baby? Okay. Calm down.
I think it's a little bit far out there. Okay,
but the STDs and the taste like
water.
Yeah, that's been commonplace.
I mean, it tastes like water, I mean,
all right.
This one,
I think it's like I'll sit there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I'll sit there thinking about it. I was like, yo, you have people who are like, I'm like, yo, the misogyny of art is not new, and I don't think it's really going anywhere. Because I'm like, it's in country music, it's in like if you go and listen to reggae music, boy, if you're a reggae, you already know reggae. Like if you're not listening to American reggae, if you listen to the boom bye bye, it's they going there with some slurs and whatnot. They going there.
They're going in.
So
is there a point for is it just a westernized thing? Because I know we were discussing things about westernized type of ideologies, but
I think it's the fact of the matter that people can't accept something shouldn't be accepted, but people really believe in the best of human beings for some reason. And I'm like, history has yet to show us the best of humans.
Not.
I think there is a certain expectation that people hold to others, especially when, and it comes down to that: if does everyone deserve a voice type of thing as well, where this could be one of those potentially where no, this Activision doing some fuck shit.
The question is though,
pictures of what they're doing,
but the question is though, who decides who deserves a voice? We might think, they don't deserve a voice. But then again, if they have millions and millions and millions of people backing them, like, are we in the true majority in this situation?
By we, who do you mean?
Like the people who are saying they shouldn't be sitting down there with Bill Cosby suites, Dababy shouldn't be on stage saying what he's saying, Tory Lanez shouldn't be coming out at his set. Like,
oh yeah, true. I saw that too.
Like, are we in the true majority? Are we sitting here thinking like, we in an echo chamber at this point, thinking that we making sense when the rest of the world is looking at us like we crazy?
Mm-hmm. That's a look in the mirror type of thing, but you call a spade, bro, when you see it. The shit Activision was like, I don't know the full scope of what Activision was doing, but if you have 2,000 people walking out because of some toxicity, there's some shit going on.
Oh yeah. But at the same time, there are people who work there and who are at other companies and other companies and other companies who have
Activision is the one that's on the poster child at the moment. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because Activision got caught and is being sued. There, I believe, and the thing is, if you look at some of the stuff that some of the developers are saying, it's not just Activision and it's not just Ubisoft.
Mm-hmm.
It's the industry that people work in, and they're like, it's a toxic industry. It's an industry that it's a bro culture, which sadly anything built by dudes is going to have its way of being.
Yeah,
it's like working at, like they're saying, like pretty much working at Activision and some of these companies is like being in the top floor of a law firm.
Right.
So
it was so bad about that. We all understand that analogy.
You see? Yeah. And it's like anything men do. It's like, and then it's like we're changing slowly, but like, do the people in power really want to give up that power? Like,
or is this even seen as a big deal?
Yeah, of course not.
Because I think they say even that one of the dudes that they're coming at Activision, he been caught doing some stuff. Like, this is not his first rodeo in this.
Yeah, when I was reading some articles and stuff like that too, I've seen that as well. And I'm just like, so everybody knows this stuff is happening. Now they're just like, hey, we need to do something about it. Or was there a trigger moment?
It was the lawsuit was a trigger moment because California was doing some digging, and I guess they were like, yeah, we because California brought the suit against them. It wasn't like plaintiffs; it was California who came.
Oh, okay, got it.
I know Gearbox was one. I think the director of Borderlands, he was going through some hot water.
Yep, man. See, they got him out of there, but then it's like,
I think they found like almost like I don't know if it was child type stuff on his laptop.
I think it was something enough that people were like, "Yo, we can't stand by you." And that's the thing is like I had one of my friends worked at a studio. I'm not going to put that out there what studio it was, but I remember he openly posted on the socials. He was like, it almost made him want to quit working in the video game industry. Period. It's like when I was there, this is that. He was like, yo, the way they worked, the way they moved, he wanted to quit. Period. And I'm like, these aren't not commonplace stories at this point. And like some people are like, that's why they only work in indies. So like, when you work in an indie studio, it's more conducive for your mental health compared to working for these AAA studios. And then people are like, well, why are AAA studios not changing? I'm like, because the fans don't care.
They're still paying for the game. They just want the product at this point.
You know, it's just like people. I think people really, when it comes to entertainment, the art of entertainment, people.
It doesn't affect them.
Yeah,
and they're not really worried about it.
You make a banging track
by humans in general. If it doesn't affect you, how much do you actually care? Unless you have some vendetta or some personal reason to care.
Yeah, like I was even thinking too along the lines of like, look how long we, R. Kelly allegedly known to be doing what he's been doing for like what decades?
Years.
Yeah, how with music? Multiple decades. Doing still having those features and everything, right?
And there's new information coming out about things that potentially happen with the same sex now.
But you know what's wild? You know what stopped his money? Not the fans. When venues stopped booking them. Mm-hmm. When venues were like, yo, we're gonna cancel out your time here doing your shows. That's when his money started getting messed with. Before that, them people were still packing out his shows like he won't. Like we all didn't believe he did it.
But and that's one of those other arguments, debates that we can have another time potentially. Was do you separate the artist from the art?
And that also goes into this. Do you if you separate the artist from the art, when does it really stop? Because we're not separating. People are saying Activision's bad. Do you separate the art of Activision from the culture of Activision?
Yeah. And if you do, would that jeopardize their studio? And when it comes to talent,
it's like the only way that they could really change things. Because if they're waiting for people to the fans to want them to change, where they're gonna stop, they're like, we're gonna boycott and not buy Activision products. I don't ever see that happening. If they unionize, that will give them a collective ability to address some of these things. But then there's also the chance that there's going to be the backlash from the fact that now your company is losing money every quarter because these people don't want to support you because they don't like what you're putting out. Which it's a slope that people really have to take a step back and look at. Like, yo, are we okay with not because for me, I would love to work at a AAA company, and would I be able to sit there and take the step back and say, would I rather not make as much money as I can make creating at my dream job at a AAA company, or would I rather go do something smaller time?
Peace of mind. Saying more peace of mind.
It's more of a
if it bothers me enough to that point.
It's a moral dilemma.
Right.
It's honestly a moral dilemma where you have to decide what can I live with? How can I live with myself with this or that?
And that's the thing. I feel like some of them people too, they never even think about it. They go to work, make their bikini clad armored female
With 100% protective rate, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, well, like, oh, you see that armor? That armor gonna protect from error somehow. And, that was the other thing because because there was a female gamer who was at one of these conventions, and she asked them straight, like, "Yo, when are you gonna give the female characters less revealing armor?" And they to her face told her, and this was years ago, told her, "Nah, dudes don't want to see that."
Yeah. It's true. It's true shit though.
Yeah.
But see,
it's a visual thing, yeah.
But look, no, I can say for a majority of men, and we'll wrap up on your topic in a little bit, Thomas. But I can say for a majority of men, the ones that like this type of stuff, they do play these games because of the aesthetic, because of these films. But you see games like Tales of Arise right now, where Kisara, one of the main characters in your party with the giant shield, she's decked out. Look like with armor, though she do got her posterior is a lot more. it's definitely more pronounced than anything else. But it's showing that you could work out an attractive character and still put them in an appropriate amount of armor and still look attractive.
Right.
That's the thing. A lot of companies that moved over to that because they realize they're leaving money on the table. They don't really make a big deal of it, but in some companies they don't. They feel like you're not their target audience, and this also goes back to when we were talking about inclusiveness, which some people like. You might like their product, but they are not thinking about you.
No.
Right. And then you got to make the decision. You want to keep supporting them, supporting someone who doesn't think about you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly that's poignant enough right there. If you're really serious about it, if you really care, don't support something that doesn't care about you.
Exactly.
And I really think that's going to be something that we're going to be seeing a lot more of. But I also don't think it's going to be anything that's going to change dramatically because it got drastically. I'm thinking like even back when The Witcher said their thing about, they're like, why aren't there black people in the Witcher game? They're like, because there's no black people in Poland at the time period that it's taking place in. And people got pissed off about that. And I was like,
I mean,
all right.
Right.
So,
not to get into it, but are they wrong?
They weren't wrong. It's just a fancy.
But it's the fact that it's a video game, though. So like,
it's a video
what
game.
Does it matter?
Elves,
yeah,
trolls, dragons, and stuff.
Yeah, so you can add a black person.
It's a loophole. Just take facts, but it's still wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
So you could have added a black person if you wanted to.
That's all it is.
You really could. It's fiction. It's a fantasy fictional story. Why not?
Yeah, I prefer people saying like, "That ain't my vision," and I'm like, "Cool."
We're sticking close to the source material. There are no black people in Danish at that point in time. Were there dragons? That's where it's mythical.
Yes, that's true.
So mythically, could there have been a black person there?
Yes.
Next question. Next question. All right.
But they had to mention teleporter. Just saying.
I mean,
but again, there's another company. I'm telling you, there's a list. If you look up, there's a list. So at what point are we going to be like, you know what? It is what it is. We're gonna build what we want to build for.
Listen, check one thing off. Next 5 years later.
Yeah, exactly. That's how, next year. That's how it's always worked. It's at this point popular in the headlines at the time. They try to alleviate that so they can continue making their money and people can continue buying their products. That's all they do.
But I was gonna say, like, one last thing real quick. People just at this point really just need to start building up their own vision of what they want and stop really expecting some of these places to really want to change like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think even Donald Trump's brother sits on the board of one of these video game companies. So, well, rest in peace because he's dead now.
And we'll stop it right there. We'll stop it right there. All right, we're gonna do a quick commercial break and then we'll come right back and we'll finish it off, y'all. So stay tuned. Short, Mr. King's having a bit of technical issues. We currently having like a rainstorm, thunderstorm outside, so it's probably fucking with some of our
wash away all them heathens. That's what it's trying to do.
Stupid. He was excited about He-Man.
Oh, wait a minute. I think he might be back.
Max, can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I think he's excited about He-Man, so he decided to go check it out real quick. Like, what these guys talking about? Let me get to the end of this.
Yeah, it's not that bad, damn it. But it looks like he might jump in. But if you can hear us, King, we're going to keep going forward, man. So just bear with us. If you can jump in. All right. Yeah, thanks for that topic there, Thomas. That's a lot to really unpack. I know there's the gaming industry. It could be a lot of industries in general. These higher ups that controlled by most likely dudes. They could be pretty toxic. So
Yeah.
that's not.
I kind of said towards the end, but people really we need to build our own what we want, like build up our own companies, kind of like how Tyler Perry did his own thing, and now he's bigger than Warner Brothers. It's like it's to that point.
It takes time, patience, and the right people to talk to.
It's like there's enough skill out there to build something bigger than.
I hope something comes out of it, something positive comes out of it. That's all I could really pray for or hope for in that. So, all right, so we'll move it along, and I'll go ahead and finish it off, fellas. I got one particular topic that I thought was pretty interesting. We've talked about Neil Gaiman, the author, for a while now, actually. Whoa, what the heck? There you go. All right, yeah, we talked about Neil Gaiman for a couple times. Like, he has a new show coming out on Netflix called Sandman. He's a writer. He's a writer. He's a comic book artist as well. He's a really good writer. And he's been a part of American Gods. He wrote the American God novel, and he also was part of the TV show. And speaking on American Gods, there's going to be a spin-off, sort of, not really, coming from American Gods. It's going to be called Anansi Boys. It's also a novel that Neil Gaiman has written that was a spin-off from American Gods, the novel. There is a bit of conflict going on with people wanting to call this a spin-off. They want to make sure that it's not called a spin-off. It's just a show solely associated with itself, even though it came from American Gods. The reason why is because there's been a lot of controversy with American Gods, just the season 3, or with some of the decisions that were done with American Gods. If you don't know, I'll touch up just a little bit on it. But Orlando Jones was a part of American Gods the first 2 seasons. And he did an amazing job. He played the character Mr. Nancy. And Mr. Nancy was a god, the trickster god of Anansi. That's his name. It's a South African god. So actual South African god that South Africans believed in or believe in. And this spinoff is supposed to kind of follow the children of Anansi. And it's going to be interesting. I wanted Orlando Jones to reprise his role for this particular show, especially as Mr. Nancy. But it seems they already recasted Mr. Nancy, and it's going to be played by Mr. Delroy Lindo. If you don't know who that is, maybe you guys don't know who that is, but he's the father in I probably shouldn't do this, but he's the father in Romeo Must Die.
Can anyone see me? Sorry.
Oh,
we can't see you, but we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah,
now.
But you can't see me though.
No, we can't see you.
You see now.
We can see you now.
Okay, cool. I can't see on my side, so it must be the storm. My bad, guys.
Yeah, you're a little frozen, but it's all good as long as we can hear you, bro.
Oh, I know who Delroy Lindo is. I'm not worried about King.
Oh yeah,
I know who Delroy Lindo is for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get you sucker too. Right.
You said what?
I believe it was I'm gonna get you sucker too, wasn't it?
No. I don't know.
Who are we speaking about?
Delroy.
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo. Oh, you're talking about the guy from that just did the Five Kings movie with the
Five Bloods.
The Five Bloods. My bad. Five Blood movies.
I have not watched that.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that movie with the railroad heist, right? Of all the black cast you sent last time, Chris.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be in that too.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that one too.
The Harder They Fall.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was also on Malcolm X. He does a lot of TV shows as well. He just finished his role in The Good Fight. And so now this is the show that he's going to be currently. He just got announced to be working on this show. He's going to be Mr. Nancy for the Anansi Boys TV show. That's cool. You said what?
I said, that's cool.
I have a question though. Is he going to be a main character in that show?
Yeah, he's Mr. Nancy. Well, and that's the thing with
Are you saying Anansi or Nancy?
Anansi. In American Gods, his name is Mr. Nancy, but he's
gotcha.
But his god name is Anansi.
Right. Gotcha. My bad. You're right. You're right.
So
there's a lot of people in The Harder They Fall, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a big cast, but I think the what I like about it is the fact that it's an African American cast of cowboys and cowgirls, though.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
yes, that's
not
serious.
African American though.
Sorry. Well, he's not. Yeah, he's British.
He's English.
English. Sorry. Yeah.
UK or United Kingdom. But all right, so just to get into it, Amazon Prime is going to be hosting the show. It's going to be called the Anansi Boys, which is, like I said, it's a spinoff from the American God novel that Mr. Neil Gaiman has also written as well. And it's just going to pretty much follow on Mr. Nancy's sons. The unique thing about it is that his sons, or one of his sons, didn't know that his father's a god. All he thought was his god that cheated on his wife. His father was just a guy that cheated on his mom and was a deadbeat and just a charmer. So you're kind of following one of the sons and finding out more about Mr. Nazi. So it kind of reminds you a bit of American Gods with Shadow Moon, traveling around and you finding out who he is. And
I meant to finish that. I meant to series that. I didn't finish it. I still got.
Yeah, this season 3 already. After season 3, they canceled American Gods, so they're trying to make sure that this is not seen as a spinoff from American Gods, but it is associated with them.
Got it.
And I kind of wanted to touch up, like I said before you got in here, King. Or I wanted Orlando Jones to reprise his role as Mr. Nancy because he did an impeccable job in season 1 of American Gods. But like I said, Delroy Lindo, which he has a pretty good career. He has a lot.
He does. He's one of those. He's one of those. I know that guy faces. He's one of them.
Yeah, and the whole blow up with Orlando Jones. I don't think a lot of people know what happened there, but he had a scene in season 2 where he talks to Africans that were enslaved by white people, and they were being taken to North America, what was known, I guess, Virginia or Hispaniola around that time. And he incited pretty much a riot in that moment. He had an impactful speech, and it really resonated with a lot of viewers. Mm-hmm. But he was never called back for the 3rd season. And I have a quote here from him. It says, "So I just repeated what they had said. All I can say is what I was told, and all what I was told was angry gets shit done. It's the wrong message for Black people, for Black America, and that the new showrunner, Chick Ugly, writes from a Black male perspective." If you don't know who Chick Ugly is, he actually graduated from Yale. He's been in notable works. He worked with James Cameron. He's been around for a good while. I think he was born in Massachusetts, white dude. So, which Massachusetts has nothing to do with it, but I'm just saying where he came from. The whole issue with Orlando Jones and then this Chick Ugly guy, I felt like it left a bad taste in my mouth, because if you haven't seen that episode, what were you about to say, Thomas?
I actually say Massachusetts does have something to do with it because he's from Boston.
Oh, well, I don't know. I have Boston friends. I don't know.
No, I'll jump in. I have friends in Boston too who live in Boston. All right, Boston somehow is still segregated.
So that explains some things, possibly. I didn't know that.
Oh, the North? Yeah, there's a lot of places in the North. Segregation is only outlawed in the South. Remember that.
Okay, well, that's something that I'm definitely going to have to do more research on and look into.
Right.
But, okay, cool. Well, I was hoping that Mr. Orlando Jones would still reprise his role, but like I said, Delroy Lindo coming in is fine. I just didn't like how everything went down. I still haven't finished season 3 of American Gods. I brought up this particularly to talk a bit about American Gods as well, and that whole catastrophe that happened between them and him and the writers and the director, the showrunners, and all that. But I am looking for. I like a lot of Neil Gaiman's work. I'm looking forward to the Netflix adaptation of Sandman that's going to be coming out hopefully sometime the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Mm-hmm. Neil Gaiman has incredible work. Like right now, I'm reading one of his novels called Neverwhere, based off from a BBC TV show back in the 90s. And it's good. I feel like things that Neil Gaiman's involved with usually is
golden.
I expect good things.
He's got a Midas touch. What are you trying to say?
I'm not going to say that because American Gods. It's not that he was, but he wasn't fully involved with American Gods after the first season. So I can't put too much on him. Yeah, I can't put too much on Neil for what happened to Orlando Jones.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to this. I hope they do it right. I'm actually thinking about reading the book after I finish American Gods, the novel, which I'm almost done with. And I was thinking about picking up the Anasai Boys and getting into it because I heard it's really good.
Okay.
But yeah, well, wishes to them, man. I forgot the director that's going to be involved. I'm doing horrible journalist work right now, but
I think we all are. It's okay.
Yeah, we're still working on it, guys. It's been a year, but we're still working on it. Yeah, but no, Anansi Boys, Amazon Prime. It still hasn't been announced when it's going to be released. Like I said, they just got the first. Mr. Nancy's already been announced, but
I think like the first episode. But I didn't see when I looked it up. I guess that was some of the original book. Anansi Boys was used in American Gods because American Gods, prior to being shot by Stars, was going to be a BBC show about the Anansi Boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think that's partially why they don't want to say spinoff, because they're like, no, this was American Gods really supposed to be Anansi Boys.
Interesting.
So it didn't get finished, and some of the unused stuff got used in American Gods Stars rendition.
Well, that makes me more excited for the show then. If it was so originally supposed to be just the Anansi Boys. That sounds pretty dope. But all right, yeah, y'all thoughts on that? If y'all have any, I know I come in with random little topics.
Well, you know,
my back, came in late to the conversation. My connection.
No, you sure.
So my bad, guys.
Technical difficulties. You sure?
I've heard really good things about American Gods, and I understand that the character was changed or they recast him due to probably controversial issues. But overall, if he still even wanted it, do we even know if he wanted the position?
Orlando Jones wanted to be back on it. Well, they didn't even say anything to him.
For Nancy Boys, they didn't say anything to him for Nancy Boys at all.
Oh, Nancy Boys, I have no clue. I don't think they came to him at all.
Max talking about season 3. They didn't try to approach him to reprise his role at all.
Oh yeah,
no, but they had
a falling out there.
The fucked up thing about the whole thing with Orlando Jones, they kept him in limbo. So he couldn't technically, since he was still in contract, he couldn't do other stuff. So he was missing out on money. You know what I mean? So he was
the man's money.
He wrote a lot of the profiles for characters. Like he did the whole profile for Mr. Nancy. He did a lot for Hibiscus, I think her name was, the Egyptian goddess. He wrote a lot of these characters. He put a lot of time into it, but when it came to season 3, motherfuckers want to disappear. So I can understand his frustration. He was losing money out of that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, look forward to that. But I wanted to give a quick shout out once again.
Bootleg it.
You said what?
Bootleg that show.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I watch everything legally. All right, so I wanted to touch up on another one, the Berserk manga. Once again, rest in peace.
Berserk again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I had to. I just saw something being announced from Young Animal, the editors for Berserk. And Kentaro Miura, he passed away back on May 6th of this year, and it's still, I got a heavy heart from that. And they just announced that they don't know if they're gonna still push forward with the manga. And I kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on that. Even though the creator's gone, and this manga's been around since the late 80s, 88, I want to say, the year I was born. Since that manga has been around for that long, and the creator, he said in a recent interview that he had 60 to 70% done of Berserk was done already. He was like, there was only about 20-30% left of Berserk. Do you feel, as the people that hold the creation, that they should keep continuing the series, or should they just let it end where the creator died?
So did the creator say what he wanted to do? Did he present?
It hasn't been said. It hasn't been announced anyway. If Miura has announced what if anything potentially bad was to happen to him, what should they do with his body of work?
All right. I guess that's a gray area for me right there, because if they decide they want to monopolize on it, then who's anyone to say no? But I just feel like there's also a responsibility to where if it's going to be released, it should be something good, I guess, in my perspective. That's my perspective of it. Don't let me die and then put out something crappy or something right there.
Did they have like any outlines done of where it was going to end?
Well, it's been said that Miura had helpers, or I forgot what the actual term is, but yeah, he had helpers that did a lot of the outline work, and he had a manuscript. So there is a manuscript of, I'm assuming, what he wants going forward.
If they have that and they can stick to it, give it a shot.
Yeah, I agree now.
I'm conflicted, man. This is like my favorite manga. So, and it's by one of the most astounding drawers, creators I've ever seen. If you guys haven't seen the Berserk panel manga, I suggest y'all drop everything you're doing and just read the Black Swordsman arc. Just read that one arc, but
stop everything we're doing right now.
I'm just saying, stop everything. You can turn off your laptop right now. But no, seriously, I don't know how I feel, honestly. I really would love to see what happens with Guts and Griffith and Casca. I would love to see Griffith get destroyed, because that's the only way I could be happy about how it ends.
Griffith don't lose, right?
All right, we're not doing this on live. We're not going to do this recording.
I might just read it now just so I can find out who Griffith is now.
Bro, he's one of the best villains. He's one of the best villains ever created. Honestly,
really? I don't know that much about it.
I don't know if he's the best.
Show was.
No, he's just he's
a
great.
There's some scenes in the beginning that he will never get the best villain in my book, because villains don't do that. They
You talking about the Golden Age arc? Yeah, it gets really violent. It gets very violent.
How many versions of the show is there that's an anime? How many versions?
The only one you want to watch, honestly, is the 95 or 96.
Don't listen to him.
Anime. Only if you don't want to read the manga, I would suggest watching that manga.
How many chapters is the manga?
Shit, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, in that case, never mind. Is it a lot?
It's been going since what? The 90s?
Is it like One Piece? Is it like One Piece?
I think it's been going.
No, One Piece has way more.
But it's been going longer.
I can catch up on it then.
No, but Berserk has been going longer than One Piece.
Yeah. Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's been going longer, but it's got less chapters. That what you're saying?
Yes, I want to say past 300 chapters.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I read Berserk. I'm gonna reread it right now. But the second time I reread it, it took me about almost 2.5 weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
So if it's been out longer than One Piece, what took so long for it to be finished? Should I be asking that question? Is that bad to ask that question?
I feel like that's a question of
other projects.
Right. That's more a question of the author.
I don't know. This is a question for Max.
Look.
Oh, no, yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's the thing. I've been up with Berserk probably longer than Max has. I'm
just so invested in his life. No, from what I hear, and Thomas, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I hear, the issue with Miura, why it takes him so long, he pays a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah, the mangas are excessively detailed.
Yes,
that's what some people have the issue with about the animes. So I'm like, you can't be that excessively detailed
and then make some bullshit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, he goes down to the wrinkle in someone's face.
Yes,
I mean, I've seen some of the stuff in the manga. And it's crazy detailed. It's crazy.
I think the anime starts at a different point than the.
It starts in the gold. It pretty much starts in the Golden Age arc when Guts is a child.
Yeah, so the first anime starts when Guts is a child, goes to the Golden Age arc. Well, no, it starts when when Guts is an adult. Then it goes back to Guts being a child. Then it goes to the Golden Age arc.
You're right. They touch up on the end of the Black Swordsman arc,
and then they made 3 movies, which were
the Golden Age.
Again, the Golden Age arc.
Yep.
And then they did the Black Swordsman arc.
And then they went into.
But people were mad because they were using CG, which I'm like, if you hate CG, then I'm like, yeah, okay, but
you're not gonna like it.
But it was good. It was cool. It's just a lot of people don't like CG. They wanted a hand-drawn style for it, which I'm like, yeah, good luck. Because a lot of
just my whole point is, I don't know if I could keep going forward if they do continue it. I would love to see the end of the story, but it has to be by Miura's hands in my eyes, honestly. But
the question is too, how much has he actually been drawing it and stuff since the further they went?
He, like I said, he in his recent interview, he's completed at least 70 to 80% of the story's already been done.
I'm thinking like you don't know. It could be like he could have been how Toriyama is with Dragon Ball. He could have been dictating it for a good minute, and no one really knows this. So that's my.
He was still drawing. Like it was him still. He was doing the main story, drawing the main. That's why it took so long too. He wouldn't let the helpers get into what the main story was. He would let them do background shit.
I like the fact he said to the helpers. It's like,
I mean, I forget the term.
The elves don't care. The elves are not involved in this.
Assistants. You're right, because they're amazing artists.
The elves can't touch the toys until Santa says so. Okay, guys, it's just that way.
But I don't know. I just wanted to pick y'all brain on that, man. I don't want to stay too long. I just wanted to touch up on that, and I wanted to shout out to Nas he's going to drop another album next week on Friday. So it's Kanye on the same day, Friday on the 6th of August. So get ready for that. Maybe another potential Kanye versus
You're
Nas.
talking about you said Nas, right?
Yeah. King's Disease 2.
I bet $20 Jay-Z drops his CD.
Oh, you already won. You know why? He's on Donda.
Come on. Yeah, he's on Donda.
He's on Donda.
No, I'm talking now. I bet $20 Jay-Z drops a CD
by
proxy,
Nas. Bro, by proxy, Kanye. That's still Jay-Z right there.
No, because Jay-Z's already on the Donda album.
CD,
that's how Kanye got
song. I said CD.
Yo, that's so salty, yo.
That's how Jay-Z got like.
Because Jay-Z is petty like that, dog. Jay-Z has been petty for a long time like that, dog.
Kanye was like, yo, I really want to work with you again. And he was like, yo, Nas is dropping an album.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
That's what we could get. We can link back because they were having some tension.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that track. Jay talks about it.
Yeah, on the track in with him and Beyonce, he talks about it.
But no, he talks about it on the track on Kanye's album.
Oh, Donda too. Okay, you know what? I didn't heard it. I didn't listen to it. I know it was that, but
Red Hat and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking. I'm listening to both, but I mean, Nas won a Grammy from King's Disease, his first Grammy. He's been nominated 40 times, and this is the first time he won the best rap album.
Because
I missed that. He won a Grammy? I missed that.
Yeah, he won it this year in March, this past March.
Damn, I missed it. Oh, shit, how did I miss that in March? How did I miss that?
Yep.
Damn.
So that many times he just now win it, his work has been artful compared to a lot of people. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I'll tell you how. Because he makes hip hop.
So what?
He makes hip hop.
He makes hip hop. He's not, and plus he's not commercial like that. Well, somebody say commercial, but he's not trying to focus on the commercial hits more long nowadays. But he is hip hop. He is hip hop though. He's been consistent with hip hop. Even when he dropped Hip Hop Is Dead, it's still hip hop.
Yeah, because the Grammy voting committee is made up of Grammy winners, and now that we're finally having a lot more diversity in the Grammys winners, now he has the ability to win. Beforehand, he won't win it.
Okay.
I know Shania Twain ain't giving him a Grammy.
True. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to both these albums, but I'm definitely looking forward to Nas's more. Kanye, he's been. I don't know, man. This guy just
I don't know.
Whole face mask.
I thought he's only doing Christian album. Hold on.
I don't know if this one's gonna be a Christian album. Yeah, that's what the blue vinyl disc shit. The last one before this one was nothing but it was a gospel album.
I didn't listen to it.
Yeah,
that's probably why I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea. Sorry, couldn't do it.
Yep,
I listened to it because Clips was on it.
Yeah, that's only because the Clips were on it. That's why I kind of pushed on it.
I listened to it 3 times through just to see if I would like pick up on some of the songs, maybe like 1 or 2, but I never add them to a playlist. So I was like, okay, it's forgettable.
Yeah. It wasn't.
I also like to put out Pop Smoke had a second album drop.
Oh yeah, you seen that? Like he already had his songs. Did just have clips where he recorded.
Did I see that?
You talking about Faith?
Yeah, Faith. Yeah, I've been listening to it.
I feel like there's too many. I think the studio had too much in hand in that there was too many featured artists. It just wasn't. It didn't feel like the other album, the one that came out before that.
I honestly still liked it though.
It wasn't the same. It wasn't organic at all. It felt too studio. Too commercial. I mean, too commercial.
Commercial.
It was too machine. It was too machine.
Commercial.
It was too much machine, bro. Like you had too many featured artists on it. Like you barely got much of Pop Smoke's persona on it. To me personally, that last track though on the album, I love that. I fucked with it heavy.
Okay.
The last track, because he skipped every other track.
Let me tell you. Hold on.
The last track, because that's how many I skipped.
Let me see what I saved from this album.
But let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and stop it right there.
So I was tired of the shit I was in it.
Most of it wasn't memorable. I'm not gonna lie.
Mercy
I
Buku.
don't know. I like More Time. Hold on. I liked a couple of the songs. Okay, whatever.
The track that he has with Dua Lipa, that was pretty good. I like that one. That wasn't that bad.
Another thing, I think a lot of these
Demeanor, I think it's called.
Before, because he was on that I want to go into it, but he was on that track to be like pop and bring the drill to the pop sound.
What Dababy's doing? Yeah, no, I'm good.
Not like the Dababy's doing, but he was on that move, and he was gonna do work with it. He, have Pharrell on the track, and then the tracks will push a T on them. Boy, them tracks hit.
That's what Pusha T was good.
Yeah, two of them, right? That was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They were good tracks.
And Rick Ross, I think he had one with Rick Ross.
Oh yeah, and he threw a jab. Pusha T threw a jab at
Tyler, but not really. He did, but he didn't.
He just because he said Pusha said his album was coming out this year too. So he said you're album of the year now. You're not going to be album of the year after.
I know King, you looking forward to that?
But Pop. You don't want to listen to that. Soon we hop off of this and listen to that. Boy, Pop, that was some good music right there. Hating on Pop Smoke.
I'd rather go back to Lord.
It's a Dominican blooding, just hating.
I'm not hating. It's just I'm just not. I didn't like it that much. There was like maybe 3 or 4 tracks that I really enjoyed.
Did I hear properly that Pusha T was coming with the album this year?
That's what he said on that album.
Yep.
I need to know. That's all I need to know.
I'm looking forward to that too.
I'm ready.
But all right, man. I'm sorry, bro. I know Panama all day. I get it, but it just wasn't. It didn't. I gotta listen to it again. I'll give you that.
Back to listen to Door to Explorer.
On that note, man, we'll go ahead and finish it. I think this video is gonna be long as fuck. You're welcome, Mr. Thomas. This video is gonna be very long, sir. But I think we got everything we need to get out, fellas. We're good tonight. Y'all good?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Good.
All right.
I knew you were
gonna call it.
I was like, this dude.
I knew he was. I was nice enough to
Max.
let it happen. I hate him. All right, but y'all, thanks again. Once again, my host, my co-host, everybody for coming back, man. Really appreciate that. The subscribers, the viewers, everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Media Marauders. Please click like and subscribe. Everything. Don't forget that bell on top for all Media Marauders content. Check it out. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those platforms will be right there. So check us out on the next one. Y'all be safe, and we'll see y'all. Take it easy. Peace.
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 We have to build a better world.